How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. It's Wednesday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about. We got Dynamite tonight. And unless I've missed something, chat can fill me in. I still don't know anything new about Dynamite that we didn't know 2 days ago. We got 2 matches announced for this show and nothing else. So hopefully we get more. But we'll talk about what we know, which is not much. And then we got all the rest of the news. We got new matches announced for SummerSlam. We have got 10 matches so far. So that's probably, if you look at the WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 lineups, that's probably almost the full card. So we shall give you that. TNA Impact is tomorrow. We got a full lineup for that show. And then we've got the latest, Jimmy Hart, talking about the Hulk Hogan story. We've got the Vice President of Sports at Netflix, talking about WWE Netflix numbers and how things have done for Netflix. Of course, Netflix, by the way, is where you can watch Happy Gilmore 2 this Friday. It'll be debuting there in 2 days, which, of course, has MJF and I think Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella and some others as well. TNA President Carlos Bigfoot Silva talks about a potential new TNA television deal. New Jack is in the WWE 2K25 video game. And Juice Robinson talks about his update. We have a full NXT review, which was like a pretty good show, but it was weird. It's just weird. It's just a weird show. We can talk about that. Filthy Tom joins us, plenty more. So we'll kick it off after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh,
How
jeez.
can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with O period, P period, P period in 1992?
You somehow made it better. O period. P
Stop the show
period.
now. We have peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with O period, P period, P period? On the show, The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is there? At what?
What the hell just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Two-pack. Vegas.
Sure.
Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Join us!
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we got a trip to the Vegas Strip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot, too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop!
Yes. We are back here on the show. And there will be a new After Dark radio unless something disastrous happens. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern this afternoon. Here on Sports Byline Broadcasting and twitch.tv/F4W video. Video.f4wonline.com. You'll be able to check it out. And we're joined, as always, on Wednesday by old Filthy Tom Lawler, who apparently just got back from an evaluation. Tom, how are you doing?
I did just get back from an evaluation from a medical professional. And I
didn't want to specify in case you wanted to just make something up.
Well, I went to a local medical facility.
Okay.
A local medical professional took a look at me. He took a look at these scans that I've had done. And he said, you know what? He said, Filthy Tom Lawler, if you walked in to the nursing home right now, there are 90-year-old women who would rightfully have pity upon the shape that your left hip is in.
What a great doctor. God. Did he actually say that?
Yes.
Wow. So what's up?
Getting a hip replacement.
Really?
It appears that way, yes.
Wow. And then like, did you ask him questions like, can I go back and wrestle afterwards, or?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Of course I asked questions.
Well, what did he say?
Yeah, I mean, people have hip replacements. I think, I think somebody, I just saw somebody have a hip replacement and came back. So.
Yeah, I remember that as well. But, I mean, I'll just put it this way. Roddy Piper got a hip replacement, and he came back, and that was like 30 years ago. So I would think in 2025, I think you'll probably have better hips than the rest of us.
The left, he said the right side's not great either, but the left side's so bad that there's just like a ton of bone spurs that have pushed the hip out of the socket, I guess is one of the issues.
That sucks. Well, good luck, dude. What do you say about your back? Is it all just your hip? Or is that a separate matter entirely?
Yeah, he said the hip was so bad that needs to be like, he was like, it's done and dusted. It's a done deal. This hip needs to be replaced.
Wow.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Then they'll work on the back?
Yeah.
Wow. Golly. Jiminy Christmas. Well, good luck, dude.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, if I didn't have to carry you
would you stop
for the past 10 years,
get out of here,
all lopsided, maybe I'd be doing all right. Maybe it's because, the last time that we wrestled against each other, you called a move at the finish and then did a different move, and I had to readjust
yeah, and you know
mid-air.
What? That was an awesome spot. It couldn't have gone better. The original spot would not have been better, dude. I did a full Jeff Hardy senton into a choke, and you adjusted on the fly. That was a good spot, if I do say so myself. Anyway, Jimmy Hart is pushing back against rumors that Hulk Hogan is in seriously bad health. They've been trying to debunk rumors spread by Bubba the Love Sponge that claim Hogan is in failing health. Apparently, Bubba still has a radio show, and that those around him are hiding his true condition. His wife, Hogan's wife, said July 11th, which would have been a week ago, that Hogan has been in and out of the hospital following back fusion surgery. He is healing, and they are taking it one day at a time. She said, no, he is definitely not in a coma. His heart is strong. There was never any lack of oxygen or brain damage. None of those rumors are true. And then Jimmy Hart, Hogan's friend and manager, Hogan's health? Oh, Bubba the Love Sponge claimed Jimmy Hart had privately told people Hogan was not doing well. Cannot speak, and the situation does not look good. Hart publicly denied that, saying in a tweet yesterday, Hulk is doing great, doing phenomenal. Last night at karaoke with Nick was absolutely fantastic. So we're not exactly sure if those two things are related or if he just tweeted two things at the same time.
Yeah, was the Hulkster at karaoke?
It's not made clear.
I would think this would be pretty easy to figure out considering it's done at a public place, right? It's at Hogan's Beach Bar or whatever it is.
Yes, he is suggesting that. Listen, I kind of felt bad even talking about Hogan yesterday because the family's doing what they're doing for whatever reason. But, the story that I was told from a person who is not Bubba and not Jimmy Hart is that the truth is somewhere in the middle. Like, he's having a lot of problems. It's not as bad as Bubba is saying, and it is not as phenomenal as Jimmy Hart is saying. So that's pretty much all I know. But that's the latest, which really isn't much of an update. The G1 continues, and Jeremy Finestone of the Speaking of Strong Style podcast on the Fight Game Network he's been updating all of this for me because he's kind of watching everything. And I guess the update is that once again, Gabe Kidd had to pull out. So this is now another match that he's missed due to a leg injury, which happened as a result of a match with Tanahashi, which apparently was Takeshi, I'm sorry, which was a very good match. Takeshi landed on his leg early in the match. They still finished the match, and it was still really good. But I guess Gabe said that he's still not feeling 100%, and so I guess we'll see if he continues in the tournament at all. He said he didn't want to wrestle at less than 100%, so he's going to wrestle at 0% and just forfeit the match. So there you go. We had, let's see what we had. Got any updates here? This thing's been updated, but you know how it goes. Anyway, that's the big news.
Riveting.
Yeah, thank you. Did this get updated on my notepad here? Good thing I checked that before the show, Anyway. What else is going on? Have you watched any of the G1? You haven't, have you?
No, I have not watched any of the G1. There's way too much wrestling and MMA to watch for me to catch up on. There's stuff I miss that I'll never get to see. And quite frankly, the G1 comes on at a very inopportune time to watch. And there's so much stuff that I don't want
to ask this question, but I'm gonna. Was there a chance that you were going to be in the G1 until you're
No.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Well, somebody on the site was like, hey, oh, there we go. I got the updates now. Somebody on the
yeah, good. Move away from that.
I don't know why the thing didn't update. That was irritating.
There was no chance whatsoever.
But anyway, somebody said, like, Tom, somebody needs to do the G1, and you were like, you couldn't pay me enough to do it. You seemed really bitter about the G1. From the day they announced it and the day it started, you've just been angry. You've been angry about the G1 for some reason. I was wondering if there was more to it. Okay, so anyway,
really.
Gabe Kidd missed that second match. He's pretty much almost certainly eliminated as a result of this. Shota Umino beat Zack Sabre Jr. in a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom. So Zack Sabre Jr. is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So Umino got a win over him here in the G1. Night 4 G1 matches, best night of action thus far. Taichi is the MVP after 3 matches.
Yeah, it's been 4 nights.
Yeah. And the standings are in the A block with 4 points. It's a mini-person tie at this point. Taichi, Oleg, Oiwa, Yota Tsuji, and Evil all have 4 points. And in the B block, Yoshihashi has 6 points in the lead. And then Drilla Maloney, Ren Narita, Takeshita, and Shota Umino all in second place with 4 points. So those are the big notes from the G1. And we'll keep everybody updated. Thanks to Jeremy for refreshing it. I don't know why my thing didn't refresh it. Other than, it's Wrestling Observer Live, and it's always going to be a disaster no matter what. Because it's a live radio show. All right. We're going to talk more after the break, everybody. So stick around. Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Warner Brothers Discovery announcement came out, and the gist of it is Dynamite and Collision are going to remain on Wednesday and Saturday. Rampage appears to be history, which we had thought. Dynamite and Collision is streamed live on Max if you're a U.S. subscriber.
555 million over 3 years, 185 million a year. Average 185 million a year. It starts lower. The middle year would probably be about that, and the third year would be up from that, and then the fourth year would be way up.
Big question for me is, are all the archives up? Or going to be up? Can I go back 5 years ago and watch all of the Dynamites in order?
I believe that they will be. Yeah, this won't be till January. I don't know that as a fact, but they're putting archival programming on, so there will be. I don't know if everything will be up, but there will be. I mean, I expect that everything will be up. Yeah. I had a little announcement I wanted to make. A lot of people got really exposed. When this.
Oh no! Yeah, save that for the Garrett show.
I mean,
save that one.
Why? You don't want any heat from these people?
No, but I've heard it multiple times.
I've been sitting here playing punching bag for these clowns for years, and I mean, this was great. This was quite the week of vindication between the Vince McMahon documentary and this deal. Yes, for me, it was an even bigger vindication for Tony Khan. Not that it's even though they're completely different topics. The guy who spent 5 years with all these clowns calling him a money mark, and they went through a couple of years and money losses, which a lot of businesses do. And they could afford it, but the long-term goal was always to make this thing profitable. So at the end of the day, here we are, and with this deal, this is going to be the second most profitable pro wrestling company in the history of pro wrestling. And all of these people and it's like, I'm not saying you should have figured that much out, but in the last year, it kind of was leaning this way. And even if it wasn't going to be the second most profitable company in the history of pro wrestling, it would end up being profitable, which once you're profitable, the term money mark goes out the window. So anyway, this is like complete vindication. Jericho actually went on the show. I mean, it was almost like he was reading my mind with that line about, boy, did all these experts come off as being really stupid and out of touch. I don't know if he used those words, but they were. Because it's not like this came out of nowhere. We've been talking about this for months. I've been telling people. I've been telling them. I go you better frickin' pivot because you're going to look like fools if this deal comes in the way it looks it's going to come in. And none of them could stop. They're so deep into it. They've been lying to their podcast listeners for God knows how long. So anyway, there's a lot more to that. But anyway, I did want to get that off my chest.
Like in the show, Bryan Alvarez here. Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom is joining us here today. What were we going to talk about after the break? I'm already.
Oh, my God.
We jibber-jabbered so much during the break that I forgot.
Well, we didn't talk about it on air, but off air we did mention this in what I think is sort of a monumental case. The Georgia State Athletic Commission. This is from Lance Spaulding, who's a manager of many MMA, UFC fighters. Per the Georgia State Athletic Commission, Cody Brundage's June 14th bout against Mansour Abdul Malik has been overturned to a majority draw. And while that may not seem like big news, this is the first time that I can remember, first time I can recall, first time I have asked multiple people that first time they can think of, that they can recall, that an athletic commission has gone back after a fight and overturned the decision in the UFC. I don't know that this has ever happened before. I guess maybe a couple years ago, the California Commission overturned a fight due to cage grabs. And made that a no contest. But this is the first time I remember a UFC fight being overturned due to a unintentional headbutt that led to a TKO. that has now become a majority draw as they went back to the scorecard. So perhaps we'll see more of this in the future. We've seen, if you remember, Brian, do you remember watching that Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie 3 fight in Bellator when they were old men moving around?
I vaguely
like me?
remember this. It was not memorable.
Well, Hoist Gracie kneed Ken Shamrock in the groin blatantly and then got a TKO. And it was never, they never went back. They never looked at the footage. But perhaps there's light at the end of the tunnel for some of these MMA decisions that should be overturned, as this is the first one I can remember happening.
All right, I want to make a couple of mentions about SummerSlam. So we now have 10 matches, and a couple of notes. I had these on the front page of WrestlingObserver.com and also for my ex-subscribers yesterday. So main event, obviously, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, street fight. This is all as of today. You know, these things can change, but that's the scheduled main event of night 2. Gunther and CM Punk World Heavyweight title. That is the scheduled main event of night 1. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, which is kind of a replacement match. Originally, Travis Scott and Bad Bunny were going to be in a tag match at SummerSlam. And old Travis Scott looks like he's out. So
He's out before he was even in.
yeah, well, he was in. I mean, he nearly killed Cody at WrestleMania.
He ruined
Elimination Chamber, whatever it
He
was.
ruined WrestleMania. If you listen to Drew McIntyre
Well, you
on the
know,
Logan Paul show.
I'm not going to argue that. We have Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title. We've got Naomi versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match for the Women's title. Dominic Mysterio, AJ Styles will be happening at SummerSlam, which has kind of always been the plan, although they kind of delayed it due to Dom's ribs, which may have been more storyline than anything else. Becky Lynch and Lyra, no DQ, no count out. I guess Lyra's last chance to challenge Becky for the title. And I believe that will be on Saturday. That was the plan as of yesterday. This is a fun typo from the front page. The WWE U.S. champion might have won this from Pat Patterson. Solo Sikoa will defend against Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match. We have got Roxanne and Raquel against Charlotte and Alexa. So originally, Charlotte and Alexa was a singles match at SummerSlam. But apparently, Charlotte requested that the team continue on because it's like kind of getting over. And she's getting over. And they're selling a lot of merch. So I don't see any reason they need to rush Charlotte versus Alexa, so sounds good to me.
No, but it is so bizarre. You got creepy Alexa with the doll in one segment, and then she's playing cheerleader for Charlotte Flair
Yeah, the whole thing's weird.
in the next.
It's bizarre.
It's more confusing than what's going on with Bayley.
I will say that I did laugh when they did that segment on SmackDown where Charlotte said, you know, I got us a tag match, and I've got a singles match tonight, and it would be nice if you came out and you were in my corner. And Alexa looks at her and she goes, do I look like a cheerleader? And there's a pause, and Charlotte goes, yeah, actually you do. And Alexa goes, all right. And she pulls out palms. I was like, okay, that was funny. And then we got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed
Low bar.
in a tag match. You know, in wrestling, it is a low bar, Tom. There's a lot that, you know, my expectations for comedy and wrestling are usually low.
Oh.
But there have been some, you know what? I know people don't like to admit it, but WWE's had some funny segments. Like, they've had stuff with Dom and the Judgment Day, and much better than the old Vince McMahon comedy. It's a lot more subtle nowadays, and some of it's pretty funny.
I laughed so hard last night at a line on commentary we can get to.
For
when we talk
NXT?
about NXT, yeah.
Was it Vic?
No.
God, this Vic Joseph. Like, I don't think I've ever in my life seen a commentator that, like, I like him. I want him to keep his job, He seems like a nice guy, but he drives me so crazy sometimes. He says the dumbest stuff sometimes. It's like, I don't know what... Maybe it's just he comes across as such a genuine nice guy that, like, I can't get that mad. But golly, he says stuff sometimes that I'm just baffled. You know, we had a... I won't go into all the details. But somebody the other day was... they were upset, you know. Too much WWE coverage, they said, not enough AEW. And I'm sitting here on a Wednesday, and Dynamite is tonight. And as God is my witness, I'd like to talk more about AEW, but I got nothing to say, dude. We got 2 matches announced for Dynamite. I've been talking about them for days. They're the same matches we talked about Monday and Tuesday.
What are they?
It's Timeless Tony and Billy Starks, and Hangman and Wheeler. I don't know what more you want me to say about it, dude. Like, I've been talking about it for days. They've added nothing.
Should we do predictions?
We know.
on those
I already did.
matches?
We know nothing else for the show tonight. I don't know what I can talk about. It would be a lot easier if, like, we had more stuff. But that's the Dynamite lineup, and I got nothing else to say.
Don Callis' family will appear.
They will?
If one of them doesn't, I'll be shocked. There's 30 people in the
But we
stable.
don't know that. They could at least tell us the Don Callis family will speak.
Well, Rocky won't be there.
Why? Is he in
G1?
Japan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not in the G1. He's with Takeshita.
Takeshita and
So
Rocky. Yeah, they're
Takeshita
both
won't be
in
there
Japan.
either.
Golly,
They could have one of the other 50
They could at least
guys.
tweet that out. Takeshita won't be here tonight. At least it's something. All right, so I move on. So Impact tomorrow is Joe Hendry and Mike Santana in a singles match.
Wow.
This is a live Impact show. And
From where, Brian? Kingston, Rhode Island.
is it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
So what?
Well, I'm from up there.
Oh, okay. I don't know if there's like some special thing.
Beautiful.
JC Jane will
God's
appear
country.
with the NXT and the TNA Knockouts titles. We have got the Elegance brand versus the Inspiration and a mystery partner. So that's the lineup so far for tomorrow's TNA show. Carlos Silva, not Bigfoot Silva. He's still waiting for a new TNA television deal. And he says every day it gets closer. He says, I certainly think Slammiversary and the kind of fan social, the buzz, talking with you and so many others now, all of it matters. Really? In the aftermath of that show, with that finish? I don't know, man. The media space is abuzz, he says. So they're going to keep pushing every day till they get that new TV deal. Netflix also announced that WWE programming was doing great. It's everything we could have hoped for and more, said Gabe Spitzer, who was the vice president of sports at Netflix. We knew going in that we're not going to change WWE. It was more, how can we add to it in small ways? And that's what we've seen so far. Everybody is thrilled with this partnership, from what I can tell from these media stories. Hey, did you know they got a new...
Right.
Yes?
How do I get that job?
To be thrilled?
No, vice
just
president,
can
vice president of sports for Netflix.
Yes.
They got like no live programming and no sports.
Well, that's
They
a
got
cool job, brother.
WWE. They got boxing every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the WWE 2K25 game released a new DLC pack on Wednesday featuring Jordan Grace, Bull Nakano, Penta, KSI wearing a Prime bottle. Wonder how much they paid for that. And New Jack. New Jack is in WWE 2K25. Paul Heyman said, this is a moment of completion in the entire video game industry. I don't think I can argue with that. Back in a moment with the NXT report and more. Observer Live. Are you heading to Las Vegas for WrestleMania? If so, clear some time on the calendar because we have a lot of great events. It's our annual convention, the WrestlingObserver.com/F4W online convention in Las Vegas this year on WrestleMania weekend. April 18th Friday, April 19th and 20th. We got special events every day. Friday will be the Dave Meltzer, Bryan Alvarez live Q&A. You can show up. We've got a meet and greet. Perhaps we'll have some merch. And you can ask us any question that you would like at the live Q&A. This will not appear as a podcast, a video podcast, audio podcast. You can only see and hear the Dave Meltzer, Bryan Alvarez Q&A if you attend live. That is April 18th at noon at the beautiful Palms Resort Casino in Las Vegas. We will also have wrestling watch parties. Have you ever wanted to watch wrestling with Dave Meltzer? 2 wrestling watch parties coming up that weekend, as well as 2 after parties. What is an after party? It's exactly what it sounds like. After WrestleMania, both nights, you'll be able to come back to a suite. I'll be there, Dave, a bunch of other friends and subscribers, and you'll get to party. We'll have alcohol, food, and more. These are the after parties after WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. If you want to go, you got to buy your tickets now. Tickets available for everything at f4wonline.com/Vegas. Easy. f4wonline.com/Vegas. Did I mention we're going to have a group dinner at Texas Day Brazil? It's an all-you-can-eat steakhouse, all-you-can-eat steak. I hear some of you right now, I don't eat meat. Doesn't matter. They have the best salad bar you'll ever see. Texas Day Brazil. You can grab your tickets for that meet and greet / dinner as well. Where? f4wonline.com/Vegas. See you there. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler joining us here today. You have to always hit me something right before I come back from break. All right, we got NXT to talk about here, guys. Don't we? Show opened with Booker T coming out. Because you see, the show was in Houston. And 1,500 seats, about 4 times your usual NXT crowd. Hot crowd, as we'll get to. Wild. But for some reason, it looked very dark in there, which was kind of, I didn't like that. But Booker comes out, and I swear to God, he's like doing this MC gimmick from the backstage area through the curtain.
This
He's
is what they were
hyping
doing.
up the show.
This is what they're doing with like Joe Tess and those guys for a few weeks.
Yeah, he's
and
getting
then they
everybody
switched
excited.
to everybody showing up backstage.
Yeah, they're like going nuts, and I'm watching this and I'm going, you know, I know a lot of people don't like Booker T, but like he'd be one of my first hires. Like, this guy's got so much charisma, and he gets the people going, and whatever you think about his commentary, like, think about all the things. I mean, the Devil's Kiss is just like the first one that comes to mind, but like he's got so many things over from doing commentary for these people at NXT. And no sooner should I be like all positive on Booker T, he starts to plug the debut match of Blake Monroe, and he goes, the debut match of Monroe, Monica Monroe tonight. Like, what? You screwed up her name. People get mad at me. Booker screwed up her name on national television. He didn't know her name. So it opened up.
To be honest, it's probably a better name. It could just be Eminem.
You know, it's
again.
funny. Well, first off, I don't want to make fun of the name Blake because she chose Blake because it's like her cousin's name or whatever. But we got a guy that subscribes on the YouTube channel, and not a show goes by where he doesn't say Blake is the worst name you could possibly have for a wrestler, male or female. He just hates it, and his name is Blake. He's just like, my name is Blake, and I hate that name. But anyway, she's Blake Monroe, not Monica Monroe, and she did have her match later.
Well, apparently Monica Monroe is a wrestler in Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Well, there you go. Hank and Tank and Solrook and Zarya versus Nico and Sean and Izzy and Tatum Paxley. So this was one of those matches where we got a Vic Joseph moment. Remember I was talking about Vic? So the match starts, and Vic makes it clear. The men wrestle the men, and the women wrestle the women. That's what he tells us, okay? Vic tells us this. So they're doing this match, and in WWE, this is a different topic for another day, but they will not allow man-on-woman violence, but they will allow woman-on-man violence. So, like, the women are beating the hell out of the men throughout this match, but the men can't really do anything to the women. And if it has to be, like, very, if anything happens, it's got to be, like, very, very, very tame. So they're doing this match, and Zarya ends up in the ring, and she grabs Shawn Spears, and she lays this dude out with an F5. Full-on F5 to this man. The place goes wild. And Booker T asks a very valid question. Is that legal? At which point, Vic says, of course that's legal. I was like, bro, it was you that just told us when this match started. Men can only wrestle the men and women can only wrestle the women. So a woman attacks a man and Booker T asks a valid question and you blow him off like, of course it's legal? What are you doing, Vic? So then, the lights go out, and Dark State appears in the building. And, man, these guys are geeks. If you watch this show and you watch TNA, man, they're just a bunch of geeks.
Brian.
But everyone has to be scared.
Brian, you missed a very important detail.
Go for it.
Before the lights went out, Shawn Spears handed Tatum Paxley a doll.
Yes. So is that what she hit Zarya with to lead to the finish?
I think she poked her in the eye with the doll.
Okay. I think that happened as well, but this all happened when the lights were out. And when the lights came back on, Tatum was just cradling her and pinning her. And nobody, not Vic, not Booker, not Corey, not whoever the heck else was there, nobody made any mention of this whatsoever. God, why is this so hard?
Brian, this had one of the worst finishes I've ever seen. It had that moment you were talking about with Vic, but it also had what I thought was the funniest thing on the show. The number one thing I remember from NXT last night was Booker T. He's putting over Nico Vance. Nico Vance has got a real big future in this business, this and that. And Corey jumps in and Corey goes, you know what? Nico Vance is lucky he found the culling because if not, he would be in prison somewhere. And Booker T goes, well, I wasn't going to go that far.
Booker is such an underrated talent.
I was dying. He's just like, oh, I wasn't gonna say that.
We had a women's segment. Fatal Influence comes out. JC cuts a promo about her title. She's interrupted by Lash Legend. Then they're interrupted by Jada, who, by the way, again gets the biggest babyface pop of any of the women.
Who was supposed to be a babyface here? Jada Parker? That was it?
No, Jada's a heel.
What?
Dude.
No.
Tom.
Was Lash a babyface?
Tom, stop. Do not do this to me. I've been talking about this for months.
I know, but I thought that they...
No, she's a heel. Everybody in Houston loves her. Everybody.
I was
every-
told Kalani Jordan was a heel too, and
Well,
that
she
clearly
was
is not the truth.
for about 3 weeks. But anyway, it like breaks down into like a brawl, and then it just is over. It's like it didn't lead to a match. It didn't lead to a challenge. It didn't lead to anything. It was just there. God. And then we had a bunch of other segments. And then we had Ricky Starks and Jasper Troy. And here, I swear to God, this is the finish. They end up brawling up on the ramp. And all of a sudden, they just do an extreme close-up of Jasper for like 30 seconds. We don't know where Ricky is. We don't know what happened. We don't know why they're just showing us a close-up of Jasper's face. And finally, they zoom out, and the freaking ramp has broken, and Ricky has fallen through it. Now, when you hear me explain this, you think, golly, that's a terrible thing that happened. But no, this was a work. So what
How?
No.
No. This could not have been the plan.
Yes,
I'm
it
sure
was.
that thing was supposed to break. He was supposed to just fall through it off camera, and
Yes.
then casually they're like,
Well,
Ricky Sage fell through the ramp.
I think they couldn't. My guess is they couldn't figure out how to gimmick it right, and so that's why they didn't show anything for 30
No.
seconds while they did
No.
whatever they had to do.
No, he had to have fallen through that, not
No.
on purpose. He was supposed to get put through
Bro.
it with that senton. There's no way.
He fell through. Well, I mean,
No.
maybe it
That's-
broke. Whatever. The
That's
point
more
is,
unbelievable than what I'm going to hear on After Dark later.
Okay. So you think he was supposed to senton him, and the thing was supposed to break, and it broke
Correct.
early?
Yes.
Okay, that's possible. But the point is, the freaking ramp breaks in
Could you imagine
storyline.
planning that in the back with the agent? Hey, we want the camera to cut for 30 seconds, and then he's just going to fall through the ramp?
Bro.
No, come on.
The point is, in storyline, this company is incompetent. They can't even make a ramp. So this guy falls
Ricky
through the ramp
Sage weighs what, 200 pounds?
like an
He
idiot.
fell through the
I'm
ramp.
135, so if he's 160, I mean, come on. So the ramp breaks, and then Jasper gets back in the ring to win via countout. So, like, hey, at least it was creative. They want this feud to continue. They didn't want to beat Ricky. They had to come up with something. It was, like, preposterous.
Do they want it to continue?
Yes,
I figured they're
clearly.
just jobbing Ricky out
No.
on his way to the main roster.
No, they'd have beat him. This is going to continue.
Ugh.
We had Trick coming out for a promo, and, like, this was one of those things, golly, if you want to ask me the worst thing about WWE, it's segments like this.
Yeah.
Trick just won the NXT. He just retained the title at the biggest NXT show of all time. He comes out, and he's just like a massive superstar. And he cuts his promo, and he's so great, and he's so
He was great on
confident.
Raw.
Yeah, it's like this guy is, I mean, he should be a top guy in the main roster right now. And then out comes The Undertaker, and they do a talking segment, and Trick tries to attack him, and Undertaker chokeslams him and leaves him for dead. And it's the same crap I've had to put up with for like 40 years. Old guy beats up young champ, but the young guy is getting the rub by getting his... God.
Brian, I got a question too. Is there like a hierarchy of which Undertaker you get beat up by? Like, is this American Badass Undertaker, is he higher up or lower down on the chain than the Dead Man Undertaker?
I don't know.
Or what about...
You're bearing the lead here. They had Trick laid out like a geek by this old retired guy. For what purpose? To give Trick the rub? To give the rub to this A&E show, which on a good week is doing 90,000 viewers, and on a bad week we can't even tell how many because it's not even on the chart?
Right?
God.
Let's talk about it.
Hideous. Monica and Monroe beat Ren Sinclair. And then, actually, honestly, like the match was just nothing. But afterwards, Blake came out, or she was cutting a promo, and Jordan came through the crowd. And Jordan starts murdering these security dudes, just killing them. And then Blake headbutted her and gave her a DDT and laid her out on the outside. Post-match, miles better than the match. It was a good post-match. Then we had Ethan Page coming out for a promo. And long story short, the North American title is now the Canadian title. Maybe Lance can show up in TNA.
I think it's still just the North American title.
Well, it's got a new strap that's the Canadian flag. But the point is, like, I swear to God, we heard 50% of this promo because these fans are chanting, shut the F up, so loudly that for like 30 seconds on end, he's just like, minutes on end.
Yeah.
And then
it's one of those things, if I tuned in while this was going on, I would be feverishly changing the channel back and forth, pressing the mute button, trying to figure out what's going on.
And then, I swear to God, coming out to challenge Ethan Page for this title next week is Santino Marella. Yes. Santino Marella versus Ethan Page for the North American title on NXT next week. I told you guys, it's like 90s wrestling. You never know what's going to happen. There's wild highs. There's disastrous lows. It's like when Vince used to say, anything can happen in WWE. That's NXT and TNA. Then, oh my God, I need hours to talk about this Bully Ray thing.
I knew it.
God. I swear to God, guys, Bully Ray shows up, and they shoot an angle for Charlie versus Tavion, where if Tavion wins, he's free, and if Charlie wins, they can never discuss it again. We saw this match with those stips, and they shot an angle for it 2 weeks later.
Why is Bully Ray making this match?
I don't know, dude. And then he's putting over, like he's salivating over what a performance Ren had tonight. And it's like, dude, she lost in 2 minutes clean. What are we doing? We'll talk about the main event, which was the best thing on the show by miles after the break. Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of The Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Main event was Obafemi, Inamura, and Briggs. They only had like 11 minutes, but this match was great. This was a great match. And,
Yeah, they got right down to business.
I mean, the story didn't make sense early because, Inamura and Briggs, like, they would get mad at each other if one or the other cost the other, like, a win or something. But it's like, they got in a fist fight last week. Like, am I missing something here? So, they finally, like, get fight and everything like that. And it ends up with Inamura hitting the Iranage and Oba. He goes up top. He hits the big splash.
Hold on. That was a Muso. Let's get it right. That is the move.
All right.
That is the move that fell Kenta Kobashi in his GHC title reign.
All
Takeshi Rikio's Muso, used by sumo practitioners.
Okay, we got like
around the
15
world.
seconds here. So then there's a big moonsault, breaks it up. There's a giant brawl. Inamura in this striking battle with Briggs chops him right in the face. And then finally he kills him with a lariat. But then Oba hits the ring. He kills Briggs with a lariat, hits a pop-up powerbomb, gets the pin. This place was going wild for the last couple of seconds of this match. And then, I don't know if it was just like my thing or whatever, but the ref goes, 1, 2, 3. Just gone, off the air. That was kind of weird. It's a weird show. Just weird. Just like this show.
That was more than 15 seconds.
Tom, I hope to see you later on this week. Thank you all for listening. I'll see you in an hour. After Dark Radio, Sports Byline, Twitch, and YouTube. We'll see you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.